Okay, y'all, we are live and we are back every Thursday as usual for book club. And we are on chapter 51 and Sansa 4. And tonight we have a guest. And we are on chapter 51 and forgot to turn my phone down. Okay, and tonight we have a guest, Stephen Stark. Hey, Amanda. And he is going to go ahead and introduce himself.
Hi, everybody. My name is Stephen Stark. Yes, that's my real name, believe it or not. I'm just, I'm one of those people that kind of hangs around the corners of the fandom here and there. You'll probably see me in the comment section of a lot of, especially History of Westeros or LML stuff. But I always love coming on somebody's stream and talking about this story that we all love.
All right, Miss Kerri.
I'm about the same as Stephen, hanging in the corners and on chats, and I do this with Jen, the book club on Thursdays, and because I love to, get on and talk about it just like y'all. And I'm still trying to get a YouTube channel of my own. I have one, but I don't have anything like uploaded to it, so it'll be coming soon. I promise.
All right, and Bran.
Hello, my name's Bran Wick. You can find my description or my links in the description if you want to get in contact with me or anything. And I'm really excited about tonight because I do love Sansa, but this is not a very good Sansa chapter.
Oh, hey, Cameo. Y'all, Cameo in the house. And I also want to mention that we said happy birthday to Nancy T, which was the 28th, but on September 30th, it was Sarah Charles's birthday. She's a sweet, sweet lady, and we want to say happy birthday to you, Sarah.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Sarah.
All righty then. So I'll get right to, well, no, before I do the overview, I just want to go through. We just heard Bran say he's generally a Sansa fan. I am a Sansa supporter as well. I know everybody's been coming down hard on this theory, saying that's not what it's about or whatever, but as y'all know, I'm a history buff, and if we're equating this to the War of the Roses, I think Sansa becomes queen of something. All righty.
I'm not a Sansa fan until recently, and that's just been through the show. When she's toughened up a little bit, even though she had Arya carry out the execution. But up until that point in the books, I'm not a fan of hers. I'm not.
Well, I'm actually glad we have a dissenter. What about you, Stephen?
I'm a Sansa fan too, although I'm a fairly recent convert, but I kind of switched pretty hard to really liking her. But I do got to say, this is probably her worst chapter.
I agree. I have thought that she would be the queen to take down Cersei, though. That
was always my first impression as well. Hey, LMR, welcome to the chat.
Hey, girl.
That's another lady that is just all the way sweet.
Awesome.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do the overview. And if I miss anything like that y'all thought was real pertinent, let's bring that up when y'all speak. Okay, because I do the best I can, but especially if it's a long chapter, I can't just write everything, but I put down what I thought, had to be said. Okay, let me see. I started it at this, and I know this happens to be after the ringing of the bells.
Where's my pen?
Let me see what is there.
Oh, Nancy T is in the chat.
Hey, Nancy.
Hi, Nancy.
I was showing off your blanket earlier, Nancy.
Yeah, Nancy,
there it is.
I need one, Nancy. Please.
All righty.
Where is my pen?
Okay, so we start off with Sansa and is in the top of the, I believe, the tower of Magar's Holdfast, the very highest tower, and nobody will tell her anything. She's asking for everybody, and then finally, I believe later after the first day, they bring Jane Poole in to be with her. And Jane was trying to tell her, look, everybody's dead. They're killing everybody. And Sansa was like, basically telling her to be quiet, and thinks to herself, what a child Jane has been, when everything she's telling her is true and she just won't hear any of it. And then on the second day, yes, Cammie, I see you. I said, hey girl. Hey, Cammie. Okay, after the second day, they start hearing the bells. And I particularly wrote that down.
I don't see where it says when they put Jane in there, but I'll talk about that in a minute.
Okay.
What I
That
noticed.
was the evening of the first day.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Well, yeah, so they put Jane in, and then they start hearing the bells, and Jane says, what is it? Jane asked, covering her ears. Why are they ringing the bells? The king is dead. Sansa could not say how she knew, but she did. The slow, endless clanging filled their room as mournful as a dirge. Had some enemy stormed the castle and murdered the king? Was that the meaning of the fighting they heard? And Sansa's being extremely naive, because she had already thought to herself that she grew up around hearing swords cling and clatter, but she knew that the sound was different and that people were actually dying. And that's something she mentions, but she doesn't believe what Jane had told her. And she went to sleep wondering after Joffrey, or had they killed him too? She was afraid for him and her father. If only they would tell her what was happening. That night, Sansa dreams of Joffrey on the throne and herself seated by him. She had on a gown of woven gold. She had a crown on her head, and everyone she'd ever known came before her to bend the knee and say their courtesies. Now, finally, on the third day, and by the way, the whole time they were kept captive, they were fed well, everything like that, just nobody would speak to them. And on the third day, finally, the queen does send for her and brings her in front of the small council. And this is the first time we actually learn that she's behind the betrayal. She's the one that went and told the queen that her father had every intention of them fleeing the city. And Sansa is just so laser focused on Joffrey and being queen that she really can't see what's right in front of her the entire time. And she still has absolutely no clue of what she has done. And things continue to get worse for her as she inadvertently causes the removal of Jane Poole from her company. Now, at this point, she does get a little bit of guts and ask, why? Well, where is Jane's father? Because she had promised Jane she would do that. And Jane already knew. She just looked at her and started crying more. And then she asked, and I think Cersei starts to get irritated with her, but she says, why in the world would Littlefinger or Lord Baelish take Jane? And she doesn't understand that. And then Cersei's getting kind of irritated with her, and she is still just so naive, delusional, just telling herself the things that she wants to believe are true. And we're all guilty of that. And then Cersei and the council basically convince her that her father's a traitor, and that makes her a traitor too. And Lord Baelish points out, no, she's really more like her mother, and you won't want to get, basically he tells Cersei that it's better that we have Sansa as a captive and have her right to, it's not even Robb and Caitlin you need to worry about. You need to worry about Hoster Tully and the Vale, which is not necessarily true in my opinion. Isn't that the way it goes? I haven't flipped it, have I? Yeah. So that's not even necessarily true in my opinion. So we see where Baelish there, he's kind of misdirecting, I believe. But she had almost drawn, because this is almost like declaring war, sending a letter to these 3 large houses of Westeros when we know, there like basically 7 really main houses in Westeros. So she's basically drawn a line in the sand with 3 of them, letting them know, no harm will come to Sansa as long as y'all don't do anything. And then, of course, we all know her plans go super crazy. But Sansa writes these letters without much fuss. She doesn't put up much fuss, and she does it. And she gets back to the room, and she hasn't even worked out yet that she's a hostage. She gets back to the room, and she notices Jane is not there crying. And then she builds a fire, and she notices, but then she misses Jane, and she pulls down the book about Jonquil and Florian, of Lady Stella and the Rainbow Knight, of the Valiant Prince Aemon. And I think, I'm not sure, I didn't mirror these 3 stories, but I'm sure they're significant, until she falls asleep. And drifting off, she realizes she forgot to ask about Arya. Okay, Stephen, you go first. You're a guest, and I know you wanted to say something.
Just to the point, I can't remember if it was said right before we started or at the very beginning, but this is Sansa at her least likable. She's still got her head full of all of those dreams of knights, and that's why we end the story with Florian and Jonquil. There's no, that's the ultimate in the terms of like the gallant knight and his lady fair, and all, and it's very telling that she doesn't even think about her sister. All the things she's doing, I don't know how many times throughout this chapter she thinks, but I love him so much. And I have 4 daughters.
All right.
Yeah. Ages 14 to 21. And teenage girls are stupid and annoying and insufferable sometimes. Let's be honest. And I hated Sansa the first time. I don't know if I hated her, but I was like, oh my gosh, this is the most annoying person. But I don't know. As I've dug deeper and deeper into the story, I realized that George is really just telling us about what a 13-year-old girl who has been sheltered her entire life, what her point of view is going to be.
Look who showed up.
I have to mute my. Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I have to be right back in the chat. I needed a soda pop. I just need something fizzly. And I want to say hey to Marie. Thank you for coming.
Hello. Yeah, Stephen, I was saying earlier, like at 13, which Sansa is, I would have probably acted the exact same way if I didn't get my way about something, Of course, times were different, but I probably would have gone running. My daddy won't let me do this, but this is what I want to do. And they've described her as wailing, oh, but I love him and that kind of stuff. And yeah, she's in her head. It's just all about her. And she describes Jane as acting like a child and all that kind of stuff, and that she's useless because she won't help her, fix her dress to go see the queen. And I love how she's banging, telling the people that come into the room that are through the door that I'm supposed to marry Joffrey, and especially the queen will want to talk to me. Really? What makes you so sure about that? And one thing I wanted to ask you guys' opinion about is, why do you think Jane is all bruised? Because she says the Hound comes and gets her.
I noticed that.
And I don't think he would have done that. So.
Right, but it seems like he beat her. It says that he beat her door down with
an axe.
Hammer.
Oh, that's right.
Come back to that. Moni's popped in the chat. Hey, Moni, go ahead and introduce yourself, and then we'll pick back up where we left off.
Hold on. Hey.
If you're not ready, we'll come back. Just let me know.
Sorry, I'm here.
Okay.
I have to, Let me find me.
Okay.
Hi, guys.
Hey.
Hey, Moni.
Moni, this is Steven.
Hi, Moni.
About him.
I was listening to him, and it's a pleasure to meet you. And,
Nice to meet you too. You're actually a little quiet. I can't hear you very well.
Okay, you know what? Then I'll put in my earphonies.
I'm doing mine too. Sound check. Everybody can hear me?
I can hear you fine, Jen.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank
me
you.
too.
Thank you
Okay.
for letting me know. That's very good.
I did. I told you, and then he could do earlier than what was planned. So, but I texted you and I texted you.
Yeah, I know. I haven't felt well this week.
Okay, I
sorry.
understand. I don't want to talk about that on air, but I've been having a tough week, but I'm gonna be good. And your mailbox is full. You need to go through and erase them.
Oh.
Okay, so we were talking about whether or not, Kerri, you were on the fact of whether or not you think that Jane had been physically assaulted when she was gone and collected.
It said she was all bruised.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
I thought of that when I read it.
Yeah.
I don't recall having any actually direct words from Jane Poole in the chapter, which suggests to me that she said very little, if anything. And
She didn't have much to say. She cried mostly, and then she said, "Everybody's dying. There's bodies all over the stairs."
The likelihood that she was perhaps even sexually assaulted is pretty high.
Yeah, I think you're actually very right.
Yeah, do y'all think Baelish used her as in his brothel before he sent her off?
I doubt that he did before. There wasn't
Okay.
enough time.
I thought in the book he went so far as to train her. Y'all, am I going crazy or?
No,
I thought so. That's
I mean,
in the books, she was treated hard. In the books, she's treated extremely. Well, she's not in the show. She's treated extremely harshly, I feel. And if Sansa even knew that she basically, in my opinion, and this is one thing I noticed on this reread, if Sansa would have never said anything about Jane at all, it probably would have slipped. You know, like if they had been smarter about it, she should have just said, "Oh, this is my handmaid." Cersei wouldn't have went and said, "Okay, well, when she get hired, who? Go ahead, Moni."
Well, definitely, I love this part where she says "we" and Cersei picked on it like that, like "we," and then it was just like because Sansa was supposed to be in solitary. So I don't even think because they say something about with the who know like what is this other person been feeling this sweet child blah 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 Cersei, but just that she was like
Cersei's like us and she seems puzzled.
And you know what, isn't that curious, like how why does Cersei know such like that's psychological, like, you know, warfare. Like you won't even let a little girl have her friend there. Like
I just want to say one thing, and then I'm going to be quiet for a while, and that's that all of the fighting in the show happened. This is different from the show. I don't know if y'all
for sure.
Okay, that's all I wanted to say, because
and the Sansa story, as far as the show goes, is really where we get a major veer. You know what, Bram? We haven't heard a thing from you. Jump on in there now.
Well, one of the positive things about Sansa is that she dried her own tears to comfort her friend.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, she did do that. She did do that.
Even though it was annoying her, you know, like she did it. So that's pretty good of her to do.
That was, but she did say to herself, she did kind of pat her on the self on the back for doing it, though, which is not very gracious. You know, you don't go, let me go comfort this bitch.
Yeah. Shut up, please. Shut up, please.
But I did think that was interesting too. Yes, she dried her own tears because, again, and I think I referred to this the last time. Sorry, I'm plugging myself in so you can hear me better. That she has such an idea of what is proper. You know what I mean? That
a lady must keep her courtesies.
I don't know that her mom like broke all that crap down for her, like, and you're not allowed to cry in front of anybody, and you're not allowed to do this, and You know,
Her mom
I'm
told
sure,
her
I'm sure.
that her courtesies were her armor. That was from
And
Catelyn.
that's a nice
like,
parallel
this is
between
still
her and
in the very
Arya.
beginning of the game, you know.
Oh, there, I can hear you much better.
Can you hear me better now? All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Steve, for letting me know. So I thought that was I mean, there's in I can empathize. She does what always what she's supposed to do. Like, even if it's not in her heart, but she does the proper thing. And I can sometimes relate to that. Like, I don't know. And I sometimes chalk it up to a lack of courage on my part. Whereas my mom chalks it up to being smart, then you don't have to go back and apologize. So potatoes. So anyways, go ahead. Sorry.
I'm sorry, I missed that last part.
Just that what I don't often like, I will often say the right thing. Actually, it takes me a few days sometimes when I'm insulted to even react, if I react at all, but I'll always react with what I feel is expected of me, what won't be offensive, what won't be you know. So, and I feel like Sansa, I can relate to her in that respect, where and whereas sometimes I've felt it as a weakness for myself because of, you know, why didn't I stand up for myself or speak out or this or that? And then my mom has always seen that as a positive.
I think it is positive because I
attribute, because I don't have to go back and apologize.
I mean, I don't know that I would necessarily agree. I mean, granted, I'm coming at this from I'm a straight white man, so I understand that I get to have a different perspective than most people do, simply by that fact.
But not every straight white man can pull off a crown of blue roses.
No, doesn't he look great?
So don't pamper yourself and just, you know, you're above average, I believe.
Yeah, Stephen goes, crown of flowers, not crown of flowers. And all of us were like, the crown of flowers.
No, I totally dig it, but I'm just saying, I think you're above and
Moni,
beyond.
I'm the opposite of you. And it was like growing up, you know, it was really from my Sicilian side of the family. You know, everybody aggravating each other and this and that. And like somebody comes at me with something and I come right back. But when I was a teacher or, you know, had professional jobs or whatever, I'm not going to come back at somebody immediately. You're going to have to push me to a certain point. And then I'm like, I'm not taking any more of your BS. And this is what I got to say.
I'm probably much closer to that in that, like, I've had many people, or one of my best friends once described me as a gentle soul who's not going to take your bullshit.
Right. I totally agree. I mean, I don't think you should take people's bullshit. You know,
I don't think
hell
you should.
with you. Hell you. Yeah. I had somebody get mad at me and block me because I didn't agree with them about something political. And I'm like, oh, well, you know, stay closed-minded. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
But, I mean, so it could be, you know, I guess it's either way.
Oh,
like,
thank you, Tammy, you know. By the way. That was a very nice thing to say.
Nancy T too. Only a really confident guy can pull off.
Right. There it is.
Only a really confident guy can pull off blue roses. That's right.
Well, I am my real last name is Stark. I love the Starks in the story. Why wouldn't you? So I just,
me too.
I got to rep me some Lyanna. Matter of fact, if you come to Con of Thrones next year, I will be doing a Lyanna Stark cosplay.
Awesome.
Excellent.
That'd be great.
No, I am not shaving, though.
That would be great. And I'm
the later years when she lets her whiskers grow up.
Right,
exactly. When she's in those kind of situation, she simply goes quiet, which is a good thing because no one would want to see my temper. And that's something I need to do more often. I'm really on both ends of the spectrum, being raised very Southern. We're taught not to cry in front of people. Yes, ma'am. Right. No, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
You never talk back or contradict someone older than you, even if they are truly really wrong.
Yeah, especially your elders. You do not.
Yes, most especially. But that doesn't always mean that I do that. And I can admit when it was wrong. I did it to a very good friend not long ago.
See, luckily I'm her
She
elder.
knows who I is. I was wrong, Marie, and I am sorry. So everybody has their moments, and I try to remember that as well. And so with that, yeah, there are some things to admire about Sansa, but then some things not to. I mean, I hate to even say this, but in this one chapter, the way she is being nice to Jane, you would think it would be because maybe she was in a state of shock also. And just like we said, her courtesy is her training. It kicked in, kind of shock. Definitely almost every character in this book has PTSD. And so
but doesn't, I think, the whole world.
I think most people. Bran, did you have anything you wanted to say about how you get when you're like in this situation? How do you think you would have reacted? And do you think Jane Poole was assaulted? I think if we go by, and this is a shout out to Nancy T. If we go by Occam's razor, which is like a probability chart that I just learned about from listening to a podcast we listened together, the probability would be higher that this virgin girl of no major significant importance was assaulted. Is probably a greater chance than not.
What you think about like one of the King's guards?
What? No, I think
By gold cloak, I would imagine.
Okay.
She was just a steward's daughter. Like she wasn't anybody. Come on.
Gotcha.
I think they
just talking about it. I'm sorry.
I think they would have just tossed her in there to shut Sansa up. I think that's what they were hoping.
And I think that's what they were doing. And it was the Hound who it specifically says the Hound broke through the door with the Warhammer. We know the Hound didn't assault her. We know
might have killed her.
Oh no, we don't.
We don't.
I don't think he did.
I don't think he did.
We don't know.
I wouldn't think that he would. He's not a raper, I don't think.
Right. We've never seen him
he's a knight, but
anyone.
Right.
You know what?
We've never seen him do it. Now, we have seen him admit that he would like to have sex with Sansa, but I mean.
Right. But that's because he loves her. Any old wench?
I think it's possible that they went to get her to shush her up and threw her in there. And like I said, we do see Sansa, like Bran said, we do see Sansa comfort her. But then we also see Sansa inadvertently basically get turned into a hoe. Though we know what happens to her, and she ends up being fake Arya. But oh gosh, that's one of the most horrible situations in the book, in my opinion, that has happened to a woman.
She is, turned into.
I agree, Marie. I just don't see that if he's the first one who got to her, she didn't get assaulted.
Yeah, I mean, I find it unlikely, but it's not impossible.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's not impossible till George R. Martin tells us it didn't happen 100%.
Right, exactly.
Well, and I mean, and she left and she was bummed. And why?
Bram, what were you going to say, baby?
I was going to say, that the Hound, he got her, but it doesn't say that the Hound brought her to the room, does it? So, like, he wasn't in his hands the whole way there.
In fact, I'm going to look right now.
It says Boris Blunt. He tells Cersei that he threw her. I think that he says threw her in the room with Sansa, and was when Cersei finds out or asks why is she in there with her.
And is Mandon Moore? Is that the one who's kind of considered? Which one is considered the child molester? Mandon Moore, I think it's whispered about. That's Trant in the TV show though, and they kind of combined.
I don't remember who it is in the book. To be honest with you,
I don't either. Stephen.
So they could. I
think that they're all a bunch of probably.
Whatever we know, she was handled roughly. I mean, somebody can grab you by the arm and and if they grabbed her by the arm and threw her down, that would have caused bruises.
Yeah, it doesn't say where they are.
And that it doesn't say that the Hound brought the Hound. In fact, the Hound didn't bring her to Sansa. Somebody else did, right?
It's not clear, actually. I'll go ahead and read the quote.
Okay.
Because I literally just looked it up.
Cool.
The only time the door opened was late that night, the first night, when they thrust Jane Poole inside, bruised and shaking. They're killing everyone. The steward daughters had shrieked at her. She went on and on. The hound had broken down her door with a warhammer, she said. There were bodies on the stair to the Tower of the Hand, and the steps were slick with blood. Sansa dried her own tears, and she struggled. So it's not clear who actually took Jane to Sansa.
Right. Just, we do know only for sure that the hound busted down the door, which would be terrifying.
Right.
Because
and
even
there could
though
have been other people with him when he busted down the door.
Could have been, absolutely.
And then there was, I mean, in every single place, like she didn't, the stairs were bloody. There were dead Northmen everywhere.
Hey, so, vengeance.
How horrible.
It describes the second day was even worse, and I guess that's because of the bells start ringing, or
the bells and the not knowing.
Right, the people she's trying to talk to. Please, I need to speak to the queen again. She'll want to talk to me. I know she will. Tell her I want to see her, please. If not the queen, then Prince Joffrey. If I were to marry when we're older. They don't care. And then Cersei, I love, this is kind of off topic, but I love, in the show she's not wearing black, but in the book she's got that silk gown on with the rubies that are shaped like teardrops and stuff, like she's dressed in mourning.
Sure and Sansa knows when she walks in that room.
Oh, I'm sorry, Bran.
That shit is messed up because everybody in there is in mourning.
But a part of my point was everyone inside the small council chambers were dressed in black, and Sansa chose to dress in dark gray, and Sir Boros was dressed in all white with a Lannister brooch holding his all white cape. So it's like there's like no color, and I don't know if like he would necessarily be in mourning because he's wearing white,
See, I think that the Kingsguard, which I'm assuming that's what he was promoted to if he was all in white, or if that's what he always was.
Yeah, he was.
But he wasn't wearing
they don't get to wear anything else.
Yeah, I think they always wear the white though, don't they?
Yeah, I think so.
Do.
Even for the death.
Like they use their house brooches or whatever, like Balon Swan and people like that.
And she did notice his Lannister class.
She sure did. In fact, it's two of them that have on it's the one that bring her in, the one who escort her back. Both have on Lannister brooches, don't they? And Varys notes that both of them are the queen's creatures.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Varys is being so not hateful with Sansa, but he's not taking up for her at all.
But he
trying to help her.
He's got to play the game.
Yeah, I was going to say
that's true.
I believe he can't right now. Like he's not.
Also, she's wanting to marry Sansa, and the people taking up for her. Maybe he's doing her a kindness because we all know that she doesn't want to really be married to him. She doesn't know it yet.
Right.
But you could look at it both ways.
That's true.
He's just for the realm. And I do believe that's what Varys is for.
And Varys has no family ties, no lands, no title, no real friends. He cannot afford to put himself out there at a time like this.
You're right, Stephen.
Right. Okay, and I've got a quote here. Let me read this. Okay, this is that first night when Jane's been brought to her to comfort her. She went to sleep wondering after Joffrey I already read that. Didn't I?
You did.
Okay. This is the part I didn't read. Okay, Boris Blount brings her. She is brought before Cersei, Lord Baelish, Varys, and Pycelle. Okay. No, I have written all that. Sorry. Okay. Yeah, she's escorted back. Let's see. Okay, so does anybody want to talk about the Baels in particular at sunset?
Oh. Yeah, wasn't that a drag? Wouldn't that
on the
freak
second
you out?
day, a great bell began to ring. Its voice was deep and sonorous, meaning imposing, resonant, deep, clear, continuous. A long, slow clanging filled Sansa with dread. The ringing went on and on. After a while, they heard other bells answering from the great scepter Baylor on Vestinius Hill. The sound rumbled across the city like thunder, warning off of a storm to come.
Mm.
So that's when the bell started ringing. And like I said, Sansa already knew shit wasn't right. And that's the second day.
I love how she tells Sir Boros how handsome he and splendid this morning, Sir Boros. And
as a matter of fact, in this chapter, we actually get the first narrative on what somebody does actually think Boris Blunt is like. And it is a description from Sansa, and the here it is.
He's an
Sir
ugly man.
Boris was the worst of the King's Guard, an ugly man with a foul temper, all scowls and jowls. That's in this chapter. That's what Sansa thinks in her head when she comes to get him. But you see how she sits there and says right to his face that other stuff.
Courtesies.
Right, exactly.
Mm-hmm. She even is kind to the Lannister guards that are all, because she expects to go to Cersei's apartments, royal apartments, but, you know, they take her to the council chamber instead. And she's even kind to the Lannister guards, like, you know, hi, good morning to you all, like, you know.
But see, and I think that's like, that is what you're supposed to do. And I know I would do that. And even if like 2 days later, when I was locked back up in the tower and not being able to talk to anybody, I'd be kicking myself. Like, why didn't I just like spit in their face or rah, rah, rah. But like at the time I would be like, oh, hello.
I probably just would have.
Okay. Forgive me if I digress for a moment, if I may. But
go ahead.
We're talking about courtesy being a lady's armor.
Yes.
Okay, so the idea being that being courteous will protect you, which clearly it does not.
Does not.
Also, what's a lady's sword? And this is you know, I mean, this is a larger conversation, but like, this is just an example of how the patriarchy continues to, you know, a lady should not concern herself with these type of things. You know, your armor to protect yourself, you're courteous, but you know, you're literally given no option as to what your weapon is.
No, you have no recourse.
But no, I do believe
all.
that Cersei does explain what.
Right, exactly.
The only weapon is not a woman's
that's what Stephen had said. This is actually a larger conversation.
Yeah.
Right.
Stephen's getting deep on us here.
Well,
Brandon, you done got so quiet.
What's he
Brian?
doing?
I was stuck on mute. I'm sorry. What was
that,
honey?
And of course, at that point, Stephen, I do believe that, of course, Sansa has no idea about that being a weapon, nor how to use it. So,
right. Well,
we're talking about Sansa's strengths and her weaknesses, Brian.
But she does feel like when Baelish is looking at her, he's looking at her with her clothes, you know, a picture with her clothes
the
off.
First official creep moment from Littlefinger.
Yeah. That's like when you're that's like when you're really young and you inadvertently watch a show that has a sex scene in it with your parents, or even at this age. You know, it just gives you a creepy effing feeling. Go ahead, Brian.
Just staring straight ahead, you know, getting goosebumps on you.
Yeah, you're like, you're thinking to yourself, please just don't say anything. Just don't say anything.
It's like when I was watching Game of Thrones with my mom.
So,
I know, right?
I'm 43 years old and I still watch Game of Thrones with my mother, and it's still weird.
Oh, tell your story, Brian.
That was it. That was my whole story.
No, didn't your mother get you to watching Game of Thrones?
Yeah, that's how she got me into it. And it was just really awkward whenever the sex scenes would come on. Not sex.
No, she just told me it was a good show. But yeah, this is so off topic, but I was watching True Blood, and my dad was like, my best friend, Mr. Steve, watches this show. And that dude, that real fine dude from on there, Eric or whatever, he was naked. And my dad was just like, I was just like, Dad, I know you're embarrassing me. Don't say nothing.
That's funny.
Because that show, I mean, they got fully naked, men and women. Women. I always, when I saw the preview for Game of Thrones, I knew I would love it because it's my style of show. But I was actually watching True Blood to begin with. If the truth is, if y'all remember, it was True Blood's last season, and then Game of Thrones actually came on after that. till True Blood ended, and then they moved HBO up. But yeah, Eric, that's him, Marie. That's him. It was when he's in the lawn chair naked. Anybody who watched True Blood remembers that, because that was a full frontal, man. And I'm sitting there with my dad, and my dad is just like, damn, because I guess he had never seen that progressive of, TV that's not, you got to buy it at the special store or whatever. But
I told y'all, I think last week that a guy, when I mentioned that I let my daughter watch Game of Thrones, that she was going to end up in jail or in child services, because I'm letting my 15-year-old, who had already been reading the books,
we were sneaking watching HBO shows when my parents weren't home. From the time they started leaving us with a babysitter, geez.
My dad tried to shelter me. I couldn't listen to Prince. We couldn't watch MTV. I couldn't watch the Golden Girls or Three's Company or any of that kind of stuff. Yeah, because all they did was talk about sex. Yeah, they were some dirty old broads.
Oh, gal.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Blanche.
Blanche Dubois.
Yeah. And I rebelled, like,
isn't it the character from Cat on a Hot Tin Roof also?
I don't remember.
Blanche Dubois, that Tennessee Williams play. Not only is she a golden girl, but she's the kind of sexy older lady in Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, isn't she? I think she is,
I'm not sure.
All right.
I don't know.
Y'all got me on this? Nobody's got me. Okay.
I just remember Liz Taylor.
She played the character I'm talking about in the movie. And I think Marlon Brando was in it. This is some old school stuff.
I think so,
I think that is her name. It's Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. It's a very famous Tennessee Williams play, and it's made into a movie several times. It's very famous.
I've definitely heard of it, but I don't think I've ever seen it.
Right. And Marie says, Kerri, same here, Kerri. We watched the Waltons. I mean, same here. Like, I grew up on Little House on the Prairie and stuff, but
I love that show.
My parents used to go out quite a bit, at least twice a month. Our babysitter didn't care what we watched.
I would.
Mine did.
My parents
my father.
They went bowling on, I don't know which night, Tuesday night or something, Saturday night, and it was, and so I got to watch. I would sneak up and watch Fantasy Island, which was scary. But they had those dark, scary scenes in it too. So
sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a chicken.
Freaking Lost. Lost is a crazy show, y'all. I just watched that not long ago, and
I will never watch Lost. I have never wanted to. I don't want. No way. I love Westworld, but I'm not even gonna try Lost. Just not even going there.
She's not going there, people. I don't watch Lost either.
Not gonna do it.
Can I circle back to the chapter? Because there's actually a couple of other things that I've noticed.
I'm sorry. Let's reel it back in. Thank you, Stephen. Go ahead and let's reel it back in. You bring up what you'd like.
Okay. So Sansa literally dreams of Joffrey.
I know.
And dreams of the whole, everybody coming and kneeling and saying their courtesies, and it's even down to, with every Sansa chapter, what's she wearing? But in her previous chapter, she dreams about Joffrey taking the white stag and thinks about how dreams are prophetic, which is why she said she dreamed it, even though she really wishes it more than anything. Daydreamed it. Do we feel like, is she right about dreams being prophetic? Because arguably they are. But is that part of what's informing her decision-making processes going forward? Because she thinks she had a prophetic dream.
I think just the fact that she's out of Winterfell and just thinks Joffrey is the shit, and she's so in love with him, even though she doesn't know.
Wants to be.
So her making up the first one was made up. this one it doesn't really say, but it is kind of strange that she does, have this dream. And, and I was going to mention too, she doesn't worry about where Septa Mordain is. She doesn't worry about like, where anybody else in her house is.
The closest she comes to worrying about Septa Mordain is when she's in front of the small council and she's trying to convince them that she doesn't have traitor's blood. And she says, call Septa Mordain.
Okay.
And she throws Arya under the bus there too.
She did. Brandon,
I'm sorry, Brandon,
you
stepped on you.
that?
Yeah, I picked up on that.
Yeah, Brandon, tell everybody what you said.
She throws Arya under the bus big time right there. She says, I don't have traitor's blood. Arya has traitor's blood.
Right. Well, at that point, I'm not defending that because that's a very mean thing to say. Well, maybe I am a little bit, but she's desperate at that point. She's just like, hey, I'm not the traitor. I didn't sick my dog on your kid. She just wants to know about where her dad is. Is he alive? Because they're being pretty ambiguous about the whole thing. He's a traitor and you have traitor blood. Therefore, basically your head's going to be on a spike.
Yeah.
Well,
her thinking at this point is still very much, if I could just see Joffrey and talk to Joffrey, he would never do this to me, my father.
Bless her heart.
And she really believes that. Go ahead, Brian.
She, at the end of the chapter, she says that she realizes that she had forgotten to ask about her sister,
Yeah.
She's still going to, not ask if she's alive or anything, but she's going to be like, yeah, Arya's bad, Just real shitty of Sansa to do. Even if it was her defensive, it's like, that's not courteous at all. That's your sister. That's your blood.
I know it. But you know what? Okay, who's older siblings here and who's younger siblings?
I'm
a middle child.
I'm oldest.
I'm oldest too.
I'm the youngest.
Okay. So, question, Kerri. Did you always think of your younger sibling when you were out doing things? Because you were first
right,
by yourself.
Well, my sister Jessica and I are 5 years apart. We had to share a room. When I got to be high school age, I would kick her out. And so my friends and we did not get along. My brother's 9 years younger than me, and we're tight. We've always been very tight. So, Jessica, being the middle child, she was stuck in the middle because my brother Keegan would always try to get her in trouble for hitting him when she was just sitting on the couch, and Mom busted him for doing that one day. He'd be laying in front of the TV oh, quit, Jessica, quit. And Mom walks in there and Jessica's doing nothing, so,
But I'm just
kind
saying,
of stuff.
Like from an older sibling's perspective,
I wouldn't have blamed anything on my younger sister.
No, I wouldn't blame him either, but I'm just saying it wasn't always necessarily my first thought, and that's not because I didn't love him, and it wasn't, but I think those 4 years of being alone, and because my mom said okay, they'd go to the bank. He was 4 years younger than me. I was at school. They'd give him a sucker, you get the lollipop going through the drive-thru at the bank, right? And he'd be like, I need one for my sister every time. Never fails. And my mom was like, yeah, if I would have taken you through the bank, you would have been like, sweet, lollipop. And my mom would have had to elbow me and who else? And I would have been like, oh, yeah.
Was I the only youngest sibling?
I have an older brother and a younger brother, and what I would have done is gotten a lollipop for both of them, but then not told either one of them.
And that's understandable being a middle child, because man.
Yeah, let me get one for my brother.
No. So
I just need a couple more for my brother.
I thought that was even though I know people judge her terribly harshly for that. One, she wasn't in the room. There was just for days she had no idea where anybody was. Then they tossed Jane Poole in, who was bawling her eyes out, had nothing to say about Arya, just knew that lots of people were dead. I don't even know if she could articulate all that to Sansa. And then well,
Sansa certainly didn't make it easy for her.
No, but she did. She comforted her, and she
comforted her, but
well, I don't think that Jane could read her thought bubbles.
No, but I just think Jane could see that she thought she was ridiculous, and then she could see. I don't know. I
don't think she treated her ridiculously. I think that we're hearing that in her head because we have her POV. But I don't think that's how she treated her at all. I think she was probably very gracious to her. She's trying to take care of her. First thing she asked about was, my friend's dad.
She did keep her word. She said she would ask after her dad, and she did. But then, like I said, that inadvertently got them separated.
I know, but it was not only that. It was just her saying we, and Cersei was like, she was trying to torture her in solitary.
Yeah, like she didn't want her to have anybody to talk to.
So she could completely,
she's filling her head with,
What is that munch? What do you call that when they attach to your captors?
Munchausen. Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah,
right.
Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah, I agree, because
Cersei was totally playing.
She doesn't realize everybody in the household is dead because she asked for her septa.
Yeah.
Well, one thing.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I was just going to say one thing in the chapter that's different from the books is they have Sansa in the show believing that her father's a traitor and he's done all this, but in the book they actually have the letter that he sent with his.
I know.
The head guard, or whoever the guy was.
It was Fat Tom.
Take to Stannis. Okay, thank you. To take to Stannis immediately and deliver directly to him. And in the book, they actually have it where Ned had written, that Joffrey was not the heir. So,
I had forgotten that they got that letter. Did you? Or you guys all knew that, of course.
No, I did forget.
Okay.
Until I reread this chapter.
But
I didn't remember either until I read this chapter.
Me either.
But I was disappointed that we didn't get to hear the letter in this chapter because I kind of wanted to rehear.
That would have been nice.
She had to, right.
And I wonder if they were. Yeah, that would have been nice.
Nancy T said something that made me think about this. This chapter, and I said it at the beginning, is Sansa at her worst. I don't know what that is. It's a dark stick.
I'm sorry. Because we love Prince. It's a purple velvet pencil.
Oh. Very cool.
Marie brought up a good point. Marie said, okay, the dream, the chapter before was prophetic. Joffrey killing the white deer is Joffrey taking away Sansa's innocence.
Oh, that's an interesting way of looking at it.
Because she has all her trust and faith in him, and he basically not only does he break it, he burns it, he tramples on it, he spits on it.
I mean, he does it away
into the wind.
Yeah, even before they get to King's Landing, on the King's Road, he completely ignores her for however long it is,
Yeah, but she just never wants to see it. And
really? Does he? I thought he was sweet talking her and charming her.
He would be mean and then do something nice. Be mean. He was a sometimer.
I don't remember him doing very many nice things except the necklace, which his mother told him to do.
He was nice to her till the wolf bit him.
Well, yeah.
He tried.
That was a safe face
ended up his true colors came out way faster with her than with anybody else, with Marjorie.
But I think that's because she saw him at his weakest, right?
Yeah, and he hated that. He could never get past that. After that happened on the King's Road, it was really over for them.
And she wasn't even trying to it didn't even seem like she was worried about Arya and the fact that he was calling her see you next Tuesday and trying to kill her, she's just standing there
no. She blamed Arya. She was
screaming over at the side, both of you stop it. You're making everything worse. Arya went crazy.
But jump
overboard.
In. I think she should have done a little more to help.
What?
I do too, but I always
she would have gotten in even more trouble.
I do understand why when they were brought before the king, why she lied, because what Ned told her, if we're going to do this, there's no way I can back out of a betrothal, and she's going to have to live with this guy. So, at this point, they're still thinking they can, make it work, even though they already know. Ned already knows he's
only doing it for
awful
Robert.
Guy he could have picked. Yeah, you know, and then I think she knows too, and it's in this chapter, when she knows that the king dies, she has to know in the back of her head that now they are really, really in danger. She didn't listen to her father, but she's just so almost in shock or just blocking everything out.
I think her parenting, Catelyn and Ned, the way they parented her, keeping her sheltered was the start of the way Sansa acts.
The last 2 points I've been wanting to make, which is about her Sansa's cognitive dissonance, you know, what she sees and hears versus what she thinks, and they don't really jive together. And then also the fact that this chapter is the failings of her parents on display for all of us to see.
Mm-hmm.
Most definitely.
Definitely her cracks really shone through here. And it's funny because it's such a parallel to Arya, and she has her faults as well. And it's like they're the exact opposite, but they're very much similar. Where Sansa uses her courtesies, Arya uses her inner dialogue and her.
And too bad Daddy couldn't have pointed that out while they were still in the city, that together you guys kick ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he had his own pile of BS to deal with. Like,
exactly. Okay, I'm going to go to the chat real quick. Marie might be coming to your house to cut your hair off, Moni. You better run. Revenge says Moni Shaka Khan. Shaka Khan. Yeah. I love that song. Y'all, you know what I mean?
I always think Moni.
Songs that get me going. That Shaka Khan is one.
Yeah.
Also,
because I want you guys to say, "I'm for you."
Is another one. I got a list of like songs that just kind of get me go.
I'm really much more of a.
I can do that too. All right. You guys, what else? Have we missed anything else in this chapter that was pertinent?
One of the most eerie things to me in this chapter, like kind of gave me goosebumps when I read it, was that Varys had her father's seal.
Varys had you cut out on me, Bryn.
Yeah, you cut out. Varys had what?
Varys had her father's seal. And as she warmed the wax, and then it says that the eunuch stamped each letter with the direwolf of House Stark. That just really was eerie to me, you know. It was like,
creepy.
Yeah.
Creepy.
And it was 4 letters, Jen, not 3.
I know. I changed it in the description. Brand and I had a conversation. Okay. I'm sorry, y'all. I messed up. I'm just an amateur. But
shame.
Oh, wow.
Shame.
Everyone knows your name. Oh.
I had hoped nobody noticed, but
I'll get the bell. Ding-a-ding-ding.
Yep.
Shame.
And Moni, whatever you want, your email or your Facebook or whatever in there, I need you to just send it to me on Hangouts so I can paste it in the descript.
What? My shame?
No, your email.
Oh.
You got it.
I'm like, what?
What's one of those accounts where you swipe right, left, or why is that? Why you got one of those accounts?
Don't ask, don't tell.
Sansa is surrounded by sharks. Revenge says lions. Yeah, that's true.
Yep.
G plus is like where you could probably I check that one the most often.
Nancy T said, Bran, you're doing so good. Ooh, good catch, Bran, from Nancy T. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, anything else you got?
Yeah, what comes next? There was a lot of good stuff right up to the very end.
Well, the smiles that Cersei kept giving her were creepy to me. Yeah, like,
and you know,
the way Cersei
Sansa was fooled by Cersei completely.
Yes,
is BBM here? Probably not, but
no.
He came at the beginning, but he had to leave. He just came at the.
Okay, if you rewatch this, fan
David's
Mr. Fan, David, super awesomeness.
Isn't he awesome?
Yeah, totally. She and I thought so even in the show too. She calls her dove, and she is a mother figure
Little
to her.
dove.
She
Little
always is.
dove. It's very creepy the way she says it. My
Yeah,
little dove.
but think about this little girl doesn't have her mom.
Right.
Her dad is like, like even though he's trying to do what's best, her little sister got her way and got her dancing teacher. She's not going to be queen now. Okay, we know women have no rights. Yes. Oh, don't worry. I'll marry you off to some cool other dude. Thanks, Dad. Not anything compared to the king of the whole freaking country. That's what every girl aspires to, even in Flea Bottom, I'm sure. Not that it didn't happen. So then that was taken away, and it's not that, but she was just like, and Cersei just honey. Like her mom didn't give her like or sugarcoat every little thing, but I mean, always telling her how beautiful she was. Well, pretty things are important to Sansa. She notices clothes. She notices. So of course, a compliment is going to make her feel good. She hasn't had a mom figure, and like I said, I think that totally was her locking her up for that many days. That's why she wigged about having a room.
And also, she admired Cersei. Cersei had her fooled for a long time.
Right. Well, when Sansa is asking to see her dad, the queen with eyes gone hard as stones, so she's, then she becomes very threatening to Sansa when she wants to see her father.
Eyes as hard as stones.
And then,
that was scary.
Like that,
Does that bring to mind anybody else?
Well, it just because at first it was her eyes were so beautiful and clear and telling me, like
so
that
maybe
lovely
Cersei
green.
does become some kind of zombie.
And then it was like just stones. It was like, ooh.
Yeah, that's what that reminds me of, because we already got Caitlin. We know no spoilers, but we know what's going to end up happening in that case. And I think this could be maybe a little bit of foreshadowing for Cersei in some capacity.
I'm to the part in the chapter where Sansa realizes that Joffrey's, there's more, but Joffrey is the king now, and she blinked back her tears, and Joffrey would never let anything happen to her father. That's what she starts thinking.
Yes. And also, yes, and thank you, Nancy, for reminding me of that, because I don't have my notes in front of me.
You call me Nancy all the
time. Oh my gosh, no, because I just typed in Nancy. I was just going to type
Nancy, you are here, girl. You are always really here on the panel.
All right. I've been calling you Kerri. I just typed in Nancy because I was going to tell her. Aren't you glad I haven't said Kerri is you?
With you?
And I totally busted myself.
I'm honored. It's fun.
Well, I love you both, but I honestly just wrote hello Nancy T, and I was gonna make a comment about I didn't call the wrong name. So anyways, but how what did you just mention? It was the
Sansa realizes that Joffrey's the king now, and he'll save her father.
Yes. In that whole planning, so it was just like we all think, oh, she's so naive. She couldn't handle it. She couldn't do it. But actually, she was like, okay, I know Dad's in trouble. I can't get him out of it. Hopefully, my mom and my brothers won't screw this up. So we're still traitors, right? Then she's like, but once we get married and I have some babies, like heirs to the throne, I will be able to get a pardon for my dad. You know what I mean? So she was totally playing. She's playing the game.
Yeah,
maybe she was.
On some level, yes. But and to speak to earlier what you said about, and I've heard this as a critique of Sansa. Sansa only likes pretty stuff. Sansa has been told her whole life the most important thing she can do is be pretty for the maiden
and have children and marry well.
Right.
Heir and a spare,
so for her to let go of basically achieving the highest. Think about it, because being married to the crown prince would be the highest she could go. And so that's that. I completely agree with you, Stephen. That's why she has such a hard time letting go of this.
Right.
Because not only was it what was expected, is what she wanted. That she didn't know herself even really. And, Yeah, that's why I sympathize with her. I can see myself being very much like her at that age.
Being like that though, and wanting everybody to bow to the scrape to you is very
well. I mean, not that, but being married to just
right, but that's also how she was raised too, as a lady of a large house,
right? And gonna marry the prince, and and live happily ever after.
But in her defense, she was kind to everybody, even like the people that she was pretty sure slaughtered all the northern people,
except her sister.
Well,
and John,
because she didn't. Sister wasn't safe either.
Well,
and if Septa Mordain, right? Her Septa. If she would have been a little more, not just like whatever your dad says, that's how it is. If she would have had a couple more clues, like, hey, let me break this down for you, ladies. this is what's happening. Quit fighting. Right. You know what I mean? Like, okay, so I mean, you're the mother figure. You've got to help her out. So instead, Septa Mordain didn't. It was just like, nope, go to your room. Shame on you. You are popping off and questioning your dad. Okay, well, she's a little girl in love. But if she would have gone in there and said, hey, there's some crazy shit going on. I've been listening, because don't think that Septa Mordain didn't know everything that was going on in the place. So
they say the servants always know the most.
Heck yeah. So she couldn't have said like, Jeffrey isn't all that you think he might not end up being king. I don't know.
Hey,
nobody Al. Tell secrets.
So. Moni Al's in here.
Hi, Al. Al, Red Sox fan. Hey, congratulations. Right? You're going to play the what's their faces? I know it. I just saw it, but I'm being a sports loser right now. But I thought of you.
I want to mention this. Brittany King, Fire and Suds on Etsy.
Thank you.
Nancy, Nancy got a few things. She is going to tell you about them. But Fire and Suds, the link is in our description. Very nice things. They have beer. They have stuff for beer. It's guys and girls. They have stuff for beards, dry shampoo, bath fizzies,
Game of Thrones.
And they're priced anywhere from like I think $6.99 to maybe $24. Very reasonable, very high reviews. And if we can, Kerri will tell you what she thought about one of them. And I'm going to order one after we get off, and I'll tell y'all next week what I thought. I'm going to get a bath fizzy.
Let me go grab it real quick, and I'll bring it back.
I'm just super proud of my Sanrixian t-shirt that I recently got. I don't know if you can see that.
No, show me.
Oh yeah, that's good. That's a nice shirt.
I love this shirt.
Who did that? Where'd you get that shirt?
Sanrixian. Do you know Sanrixian?
I know of her. She does really
good stuff. SANAX? Yeah, I've seen them around.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
Let me write that down. Spell it for me. But I've seen them in chats. Sometimes I say hey, but sometimes it's going so fast. Do you have the website or whatever?
Yeah, it's sanrixian.com. SANRIXIAN.com. And she does custom art pieces. She's working on my custom art piece right now. But she also does stickers, she does t-shirts, she does prints of her stuff. And if you're on Twitter, you should follow her on Twitter, because she posts a lot of her art on Twitter, and it's very like comic book style, but man, she can draw anything, and she's hilarious too.
Cool. I'm gonna check that out, and maybe she'll let us just talk. We just talk about people's stuff on here that we see that is nice. Bye, LMR. Nice.
Were you talking about Vanessa Cole?
Bye, LMR.
Bye, LMR.
Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Steven, were you talking about Vanessa Cole?
No, I know her too. Vanessa Cole does like hyper realistic pencil drawings, like photo quality. They're amazing.
Awesome.
Sanrixian style is very more like comic booky.
I'd like to check it. I really like your shirt. Show it one more time,
Okay.
y'all. This is sanrixian.com. Y'all probably seen. I didn't even know it was a her, but around in chat. Definitely. I really love that shirt.
Yeah, I do too. Well, I guess I should talk while I'm showing it so you connect, so the camera will actually pick it up.
I love it. Wolf with
I love
arrows in
that.
its head. It says the North remembers. It's cool.
Sing us a song.
It's a good looking shirt.
Who are you? The proud Lord said. Okay, more to
Hey, we can always talk about Pete Sayal's version. He was pretty good.
I saw it on YouTube. He was good.
He was pretty good.
I got from Fire and Suds some dry shampoo. And it comes in a cute little jar with the Fire and Suds on it, and it's made with cocoa powder, and it has a very nice lemongrass smell to it. So it came in the box with the cute little wrapping, and then she puts in, I can't read who the artist is, but it's a cute little card of Marjorie, and she has some bath bombs that are and other things that are based on Marjorie, and Sansa lemon cakes and things like that, and then a little thank you card comes with it, asking for a little review. So I used some tonight, and I love it.
Do you smell fab?
I do. I just want to put it all over me.
That's a nice little. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit behind. I like the little Marjorie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Can you
I think
it's a card a little higher?
I can't see close up.
I was just going to say it's really beautiful packaging and it's affordable. And say you want to send a little buddy a gift, $10. Let her know. I'm trying to send my Game of Thrones friend a gift, $10, and she didn't have anything bad on there. What were you going to say, Brian?
I was going to say if she could lift the little Marjorie card a little bit higher so I could see it better. I could only
show
see
us better, honey.
Is that good?
Yeah. Hold it up a little more.
I like that.
Yeah, hold it away a little more. Yeah. Her packaging, y'all, is so cute and just great reviews. Like I said, I'm going to order something tonight. My hairdresser said, like you doing the dry shampoo and trying to wash your hair the least. If you want long hair, that's definitely what you need to be doing.
Yeah, and my daughter uses Batiste, and that stuff is highly flammable, and you're supposed to hold it a ruler length away.
Do you read the directions?
Naomi's hair is going to catch on fire one day from all that Batiste stuff that she sprays in it. She gets near an open flame, so.
Mine really did catch on fire one time.
Mine did too, from a sparkler.
Yeah, my friends put it out real fast.
Did you burn off your eyebrows?
What now?
Did you burn off your eyebrows?
No, but the back of my hair did catch on fire one time.
Mine did from a sparkler.
Because I caught it on fire.
My friends put it out real fast, but I had to cut my hair because it was singed, like the top layer, or like this part, it was.
Yeah.
So I had to layer it. I still had long hair though, but it was a terrifying experience, y'all. I was at a club and I leaned over and they had those little stupid freaking, little mood lightings on the table, and my hair caught on fire when I was drinking
Mine was
beer.
from a sparkler. We were all standing on my deck of my apartment for the 4th of July, and somebody got too close, and
my little friends, I got burned bad.
That's terrible.
We would never have Roman candles because of that.
I was taking my medicine and caught my beard on fire.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
When I used to get fake nails, I used to burn my fake nails all the time. I don't believe I've had them since November 5th, 2011. That's the day I got married. Go ahead, Moni.
Moni caught up, though. You better
I know. It's okay. It's okay. Like I said, I got a little bit of a delayed reaction. Notice how I didn't freak out and say, what medicine? What? Blah, blah, blah.
Well, you live in a nice state, Miss Moni. I need to come up to Michigan.
Yeah, I live in Texas, for the record. So,
Is that here? They in Alabama they supposedly were going to make CBD oil legal, but then that changed. So I don't really know all the details.
Well, here's what I'll say on that: there's a vote in November in Texas, so we'll see what happens. And there's enough large cities in Texas that there's a good chance it might actually go through, because it does tend to be almost an urban versus rural thing.
You're talking about for marijuana now?
Yes, I am.
It went by here. Okay. It got through here, but I don't believe they've still figured out how they're going to regulate it or whatever.
There's no way Alabama.
It went through just this year, and when the legislature was in session.
I bet Alabama.
Alabama, don't. That's where they set up all the states.
Play some Skinner.
Turn it up.
Hey, when I saw Mumford and Sons in Alabama, they sang that damn song. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Here comes these British guys, and that was like one of their encore songs, Sweet Home
Moni,
Alabama.
did you see in the chat where Nancy T said, Moni G, be on the lookout for a package?
Oh.
I know. Didn't you see me get
I wonder
excited?
what that is. And Marie said, Nancy's so sweet, and she sure is. Thanks for popping by. That's so sweet.
You guys are awesome. I'm sorry I was
random acts of kindness. Amen to that. I believe in that. Nancy T, laugh out loud, Stephen Stark. Marie, I once thought I'd save time and delicately shave my eyebrows instead of tweezing. End of story, no eyebrow. Wait, I'm going to go ahead and admit, when I was like in the 5th or something great, I put shaving cream on my face like my dad, and I was just doing it with the back of the razor. But somewhere near this eyebrow, I had accidentally flipped the razor over without knowing. And I do have like super thin eyebrows on one eyebrow, and the rest is just seriously a victim of Drew Barrymore over plucking from the 90s.
Right.
Oh, I lived through that line, but I hate it.
I mean, so you can see, literally all natural. Okay, like no sharp.
Let me see your fantastic eyebrows. Oh, wait, no, I can't see. Something happened. What?
I'm going to speak up so you can.
Oh.
Wait, I want to see those fantastic eyebrows again. Come back.
Actually,
fabulous.
I think I have pretty good eyebrows, to tell you.
Very nice.
You do have nice eyebrows. I swear, I might get mine. I never thought I'd say this, but I might get some of those fake ones, so I don't feel like I have to draw them.
What tattoo? Make sure you go to a few of them.
I mean, I've got a few friends who've had it. It looks good. Bram, what do you think? I think you're probably the only person who knows what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about, Moni? Y'all know what I'm talking about? I think it looks good if you get it done by somebody who does it good.
A tattoo?
Yeah.
My aunt doesn't have
make sure you check out
I feel like if you
have
to draw your eyebrows on, it's okay. But if you draw your eyebrows on, you kind of look a little crazy.
That's my aunt.
Okay, y'all. I used to have this friend Lauren who used to shave hers off and draw them on. And I remember I used to hate going swimming or to the beach with her because every 5 minutes she'd look at you and go, "Are my eyebrows on? Are my eyebrows on?"
Remember that? Oh, what was it?
I'm not gonna do this all day.
What video? Isn't that the wall where the main dude, he's the character in it, and he shaves off his eyebrows when he's going.
I know Austin Powers.
No. In the wall, the video.
Pink Floyd.
Bob
I don't know. Y'all, I'll be right back.
And he shaves off his eyebrows. And I had a friend in high school who did that too. And there is nothing freakier than. See, I don't have. I do put but not pencil. I use eyeshadow so it doesn't look as harsh.
Yeah,
because I love eyebrows. They frame a face. That's the difference between in Little Mermaid, if you ever notice, or just check out the very clip at the very beginning. They catch the fish, and
I love that movie.
The one fish, the ones that fall in the boat, they're just fish. But the one that jumps out, he has eyebrows because that is your expression. It frames your face. So I admire people with sweet
I have an
eyebrows.
aunt that started looking very scary because she plucked hers so much that she did have to draw hers on, and it just is like, oh, you know, and she's like, no, thank
Like
you.
that Greta Garbo, that line, super cool.
Yeah, you really need to know what you're doing when you're drawing your eyebrows on your face.
Yes, and have some good tweezers, and don't ever use those little shavers that they sell. I tried to do that, and it didn't work that well for me. So,
ouch. So, what did we get through the whole chapter? I'm sorry for being late, y'all.
No, you're good.
I was doing
I don't really have anything else to say about the chapter.
Okay.
I think we
covered everything. Brian, what about you?
I think we've covered pretty much everything in the chapter.
Yeah.
The couple things that I really wanted to bring up was that, like, Cersei, I loved that how she like blew a nut when she found out somebody else was in there with her, because I was like, you know, but that's psychological torture, man. Like, and how did you get to be so good at it? Like,
oh god.
Well, so I thought that was very interesting, and I know I did feel bad, but I'm cutting the big sister slack. I know I'm probably giving, because of course she should have thought of her sister.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Of course she should have, but I don't think she was worried about her being in danger, because she wasn't in danger.
Right.
You know, she was the son of the daughter of the Hand.
But that's
of course Arya
dissonance again. You know, she sees dead people, she hears people dying all around her, but everybody I know is probably safe.
Right.
And she also thinks to herself, the knights in the stories never scream, they never beg for mercy. You know, and her Florian and Jonquil and the other knights aren't supposed to act like that.
Well, I know, and that's just it. All of her little girl, like, bubbles are being popped. I remember when my one friend told me at one point, and this was in our early 20s, but she's like, and something bad happened to me at work, and I was devastated and like, whatever, I don't know, disillusionment. And she was like, well, aren't you lucky that you got to live like 22, 24 years in your Moni bubble? Most of us had ours popped a long time ago, and I was like, oh, fine. So yeah, I guess I was lucky.
That makes sense. I mean, truthfully, everybody's innocent. I think every one of us could probably name that moment when we felt like we weren't innocent anymore. And it doesn't necessarily have anything to do with any one particular thing. It can be something you didn't even expect it to be.
Hey,
and I think all parents want to protect them, right?
Right. I mean, when you're young in Catholic school, you go to confession once a week, and I would have to sit there and think of things like, okay, I was mean to my sister. Okay, I was this. So that was ingrained in me, like from an early age, like you're going to feel guilty and find things to feel guilty about to go confess to the priest.
Right. No, I know exactly what you're talking about. There's several people in the chat who can agree with that. That when if you go to church a lot as a little child, you're almost taught like there's no way that you're not doing anything wrong.
Right.
I just, well, I don't know. Like, I just knew everything was forgiven. We didn't have to do confession, but it seems like I would have probably been making up stuff. Like, yeah, probably.
I had to. Yeah, definitely.
I cussed, and then like he'd probably be out there, and I'd probably be.
Well, think about it. I'm in second grade. Like, you know, sitting second grade. Sitting waiting for my turn to go into the confessional. You know, how old are you in second grade? Like 10?
Young, maybe 8.
Second grade is 7 or 8.
Yeah, and trying to think of things before I would go in there that I could confess. You know, so it was. I don't believe in it. I'm not a.
Wouldn't it have been funny if you could have said, "So I killed my neighbor's dog." I mean, not that any kid would be that evil to think of those kind of lies, but like, you know,
hey, you know,
under their priestly obligations, they're not allowed to talk about it, right?
Yeah.
Well, they did tattle on you? I wonder. As a kid?
Probably.
But they're not
because
supposed to.
The priest. No, they're not. But the priest that we had us sit on his lap.
What?
In confession. Oh yeah.
That's weird. Yeah, that's not right.
When I was in grammar school, so that really got me, because you're not supposed to receive communion if you don't go to confession. That's
right. I never take it. I don't feel right.
I do.
Russell takes it.
I do.
I don't take it.
And I actually spoke with a priest recently, and he doesn't. He told me he didn't believe in confession either. And I don't.
Well, see,
you know,
as a Lutheran, he broke those barriers. So like, we have a direct line to God. Like,
That's
don't
what
have to go through. You know what I mean? And that's
right.
I think that makes more sense. Like,
definitely.
If we're talking religion, I'm just going to let you know I disrespect nobody's religion. Maybe even see some iconography up at my house. It's not mine. I am pretty
agnostic.
But that's me. That's me.
If there's a stage between like agnostic and true atheist, that's probably where I am.
Okay, that's cool. What if that's what you believe? I don't even know what I am. I mean, I've got one Protestant parent, one Catholic parent. I lean more towards Catholic, but I also believe in some of the tenets of Buddhism and in Wicca. So I mean, I don't know what the hell I am. Heinz 57. I don't know.
I'm superstitious. I don't know. I'm more agnostic than anything.
do love watching every once in a while. I get sucked in like over my parents' house, or because that's or when I used to have cable. Is it that TBS, the All Catholic channel or whatever? When they talk about all the
like Mother Angelica doing the rosary.
That's
No, I like the history of it, and I love the sisters that go to all the art museums. I dig that show too.
I like the sisters.
My super nerd comes out on all.
I have a weird fascination with nuns. Like, I love bumping into them in the city and going, "Hey, sister, how are you?"
Well, I had nuns as teachers, and
I love them.
Yeah, I imagine your view of nuns is very different than the rest of ours, Kerri.
Well, by my time, they weren't as strict. Now, I had one that liked to pinch you up under the arm right here if you were not in single file line. But when my dad and mom were in high school, oh yeah, the rulers were out.
My mom said they were straight mean.
They were.
Like, super mean. Yes. Like, yeah, she talks about the hands and the rulers. She went to St. Thomas More in Baton Rouge.
Okay.
See, that's the thing, though. South Louisiana, before the storm, it had the most, I think, next to Illinois and around those areas, it had the most Catholics definitely in the South, but in, even America. But after the storm, a lot of people left the church because they felt like they didn't help enough. And I honestly don't think they did. I mean, it's supposed to be the richest church on earth.
No, they didn't. They didn't help during World War II. They didn't. There's a lot of things the Catholic Church has done.
I saw your friend.
We will.
Not on a live stream that's not dedicated to it anyway.
I saw your friend in the back, Stephen, and I thought it was Russell out of the corner of my eye.
Right,
so I was about to do the Russell.
You're talking about this person who was just right here?
Yeah.
That's actually my mother.
Hello.
They're picking because Russell, my husband, will sometimes walk through here in his boxer briefs.
I like to
or topless, head with shorts on, to go get, because he's been passed out watching some show, to get up and go get a bottle of water, a Gatorade, or a pint of ice cream.
Or, depending how the show ended, maybe a couple of shots.
Right. In fact, I'm going to do a shot in honor of you, Moni, and Nancy T. Who's got a shot? I'm going to do a shot.
I do not drink at all.
I don't need one, Stephen.
I'm with you in spirit.
All right. I like that too.
I can't do it. I just can't handle it.
How about a little bit of the coffee? I'll have some coffee.
I will too.
I'll finish off my tequila sunrise here.
I drink coffee.
Hold on. I gotta get my hold please.
Hold please.
or I could use my Milo's tea.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna keep people entertained until they come back. If you look really closely at my beard, my mustache becomes a pair of arms, and the stripes become a pair of legs, and then.
Dancing man.
Dancing beard.
Days there just aren't enough rocks.
That is awesome.
All right.
You made me want to grow a beard.
Yeah.
Chrissy, I've read Edgar Allan Poe's I think it was the Raven, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I listened to it twice. It's very good.
Mm-hmm.
But that's one of my favorites. It's what he's some of his poems are short stories are my all-time favorite.
The Telltale
Okay,
Heart.
Nancy T, this is Fireball, and this is only medicinal to help me sleep better. That's only a little half a shot.
Oh yeah, sure. Mine is medicinal too. I probably need a double.
Look, if y'all get to meet Nancy T, she likes a shot of Fireball and a Diet Coke, y'all.
Hey, shot of Fireball, Nancy. Look at that jug.
Look at that. Damn, girl.
When Con of Thrones was in Dallas.
I'll play it.
Oh, buddy, you're hilarious. I love you, bro. Oh, my God.
When Con of Thrones was in Dallas this year, I threw a barbecue party after the con was over, and Nancy T and her husband came out to that party. And so we were hanging there.
Cool.
She's awesome. Yeah. Y'all, Nancy C is one of the reasons to go to con because she's usually there. She has so much fun.
I'm looking so
well, I'm going to do my damnedest to get there.
Me too. I think everybody, I brought it up again because everybody on the panel tonight is going to try their very, 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 very best to go.
Oh my gosh, Chrissy of Old Stones. Hello, Chrissy.
Chrissy, sweet Chrissy.
Big hearts to Chrissy. I know her. We see each other every week at the live stream over there on LML's channel.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay. Oh, hey, David Adams.
David Adams? Who's that?
I wanted to tell you, Stephen, thank you so much for coming on tonight, and you're welcome back anytime. Just get in touch with me and let me know.
I should be able to come back next week if you want me. Again, the biggest thing detracting it from me coming on is my bedtime is usually like 8 o'clock at night because I have to be up early in the morning if I'm working.
And you know, we used to actually go at 9, and we changed it per request of a bunch of people.
Wait, so what is your new time?
I'm sorry?
We don't have a new time.
Oh.
She was saying it used to be 9.
I said, remember when it was 9?
Yes. And I still couldn't figure it out because I'm Eastern.
And Nancy remembers too.
I'm Eastern.
Yeah. No, we got to keep it early because every one of us usually goes to bed pretty early. I don't know, Brand. I know you do on the weekend.
Yeah,
I know
I go to bed about
everybody
3
does.
in the morning here.
Yeah, I go to bed about 2, but still I need 8 hours.
You know,
whatever I'm doing, that's just the way I am.
I just have a different schedule than everyone else.
Right.
I
sleep though.
I
went to bed about 2 and had to get up at 5:30.
Oh wow. Well, I have sleep apnea, and I will not use the CPAP because it's like
why?
Because it's like taking off into outer space to try to sleep.
I know.
I know, Marie. I know you're a early bird.
You're gonna get it from me. I'm riding you on that.
Well, I can't stand that thing. It's like the whole mask and the tube.
I heard if you don't get those super clean, that they actually make you worse.
Yeah. But like, when's the last time that you were fitted for one?
$5,000.
But when's the last time you were fitted for one?
It's been a while, but they had to. What happened is I need to have my tonsils taken out. They're too close together, and that should have happened when I was younger. And I also have insomnia that's genetic, and I have a lot of anxiety, so I take medication for that. So I basically sleep kind of sitting up in that kind of position, and that helps me stay
because that's scary.
It is. I did 3 sleep studies, and they said I stopped breathing like 100 times during the night. So, and that was, I'm 40, about to be 45, and we just figued all this out like 3 or 4 years ago.
That'll cause like all kinds of health problems down the line. But we'll talk offline about. I just. It's important, and they have better things than when you did it.
That's what I want to try.
10 years ago.
Okay, you guys. What are you drinking, Brand? Is that a tequila sunrise?
Looks like it.
It sure is.
They're good. They're good. I bet you and Elamar could agree on that. All right.
What kind of tequila?
All right, everybody. If that's all everybody has, we're going to say goodnight because it's 9:30, but it's getting close to that time when we have a lot of extra stuff going on because it's just that time of year.
I would just like to.
Number 2.
Go ahead, Brand.
Cheers.
Y'all go ahead and take yours.
I'll get my coffee.
Finishing off my coffee now.
Up to it, down to it, any way you get to it.
That's a cute shirt, Moni.
What were you gonna say?
Hey, I know. Look at.
Well, yeah.
I was just gonna say that next week we have a really good chapter coming up.
I
know. I started to
John
listen
7,
to it.
chapter 52, and it's where the monsters, the dead men, come into the rooms, and that's a really, really eventful.
Okay, and aren't you want to do the overview for next week, Brian?
I can if you'd like, or someone else can do it. It doesn't matter.
Well, you had said something earlier, so you asked me first. So if you want to, go ahead.
Or we'll arm wrestle for it.
If anyone else wants it next week, they can totally have it.
Go ahead, babe.
No. You say, I'll pop you right between the eyes, Moni. It's
I
mine.
agree. Love you too, Chrissy. All right, so we'll sign off. Everybody's got to get to bed. We'll see y'all next week. John,
I've had a great time.
I never want to say goodbye.
Thanks for having me, by the way. And if I can, one last thing. My channel will be soon posting some content tangentially related to the Song of Ice and Fire fandom. Not the story itself, but more about like the fan and the fan community. And if you want to, if you could follow me on Twitter at StarkStark74.
Alrighty. Okay. Awesome. Y'all heard that. Say it again, Steven. Follow Steven on Twitter, please.
Thank you.
I need to write that down at StarkStark74.
Stark Steven 74.
No, Stark. Same word twice. At
StarkStark74.
Okay.
Stark 74.
Okay, I'm gonna be naughty now.
Awesome.
Like, did everybody get that the right way? Stark.
I'm Kerri Mcdonald. I'm Kerri Mcdonald 29 on Twitter.
Okay, I'm gonna add you right now.
Okay, I'm Jennifer Wolverton 76. I think we already follow each other. Actually,
we do.
I'm like
okay, Nancy, Cammy, Marie, LMR, David Adams, Al.
David Adams, who's he? Miss you, David. I'm saying it there. In front of God and everybody.
Okay, I already follow Kerri.
No, BBM was in here. Our fandom.
I need to follow you,
was in here earlier.
You follow me already too. We follow each other.
Okay.
But Twitter is my most used social media platform. So if you ever want to get a hold of me,
Nancy,
Twitter
Marie, David.
Yeah, I got to get my YouTube channel up and going.
Yeah, I have a few Twitter names now.
Did everybody say everything they want to say? And if you look in the description, Brand's Facebook is on there. You know, if you become friends with Brand on Facebook, then y'all messenger link up. Kerri's got her email on there. Moni's the only one with nothing on there, but
I told you can find me at G+. So
she's on Google+. But you know what? I'm gonna figure out how to get that link, and it'll be in next week's description. Or I'll be cool and like I'll have something in there. YouTube. And Steven will be back with us next week. His YouTube channel is linked in there, and he just gave you his Twitter. So we'll see y'all next week. Like Brand said, John 7, chapter 52, and he'll be doing the overview. Thanks, everybody. See y'all next week. Have a great weekend.
Night.
Good night. Love you guys. Thank you.
Love you, Moni.
Yeah. I'm so glad to see you. And nice to meet you, Steven.
Nice.
Good to see you, Brand.
It was nice.